morning, Shirley. It's middle of the year, and after homeschooling our own kids for so long and watching the sort of ebb and flow of homeschoolers through the years, we realize that mid-year tends to be quite a slump for a lot of homeschool moms. And I think for them, often it's like they have the schedule and they can't keep up, or the kids are tired, or it's just so cold to get up and do things, or whatever the reason is. We found that there's a little bit of a stall, and moms are saying, how am I going to get through the rest of the year? So I thought, let's encourage them that this is probably normal, but give some tips on how to just push through, and perspectives, and how we're looking at the rest of the year. So why don't you jump in with your best advice?
Well, if anybody's feeling that way, like your year hasn't gone so far the way you planned that it would, or you haven't done everything that you thought you would, you are not alone. I'm in that boat with you, because my year also hasn't gone the way I dreamed it was going to go. And I think it just is the reality of every year. We have these dreams and goals, and then life happens, and we just have to look at what we have accomplished. So I think for all of us, we've got 2 terms left, and we just need to sort of look back and say, well, what did we do? If there were major things that you need to deal with or sort out so that it doesn't disrupt your schooling, then maybe you've got to just look at that as, this is what we're going to focus on for the next 6 weeks or the next term or whatever it is. But if it's just the normal humdrum of life and life happening, then you've got to say to yourself, well, my kids are learning from life and not only from the books. Mm-hmm. So we've definitely gone slower through our programs than I sort of dreamed, but it's okay. We've just carried on plodding through, and if it's going to take us longer, it's going to take us longer. It's not that we are being irresponsible. It's just, this is our life. Different things have come along, and so now we've just got to adjust to the new things. Mm-hmm. So I think the biggest thing I'm saying is, it's normal and it's okay.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we also need to toss up, when we look at the situation that we find ourselves in, you touched on it a little bit, but is this a discipline problem with me or my kids, or is this just life? And if it is just life, it is okay to say, well, some days are good, some days are bad. Some days we do a lot, some days we don't. Some days it looks picture perfect, other days it looks a little bit messy, and that's actually okay. If it's, we are struggling because there is a discipline issue in ourselves, it gets hard, and homeschooling is hard. There's wonderful benefit to it, all the relationship stuff, all of the just excitement around a child grasping something and running with it. There's that, but there are times when it is just really, really hard, for whatever reason it might be. But if it is a parent getting a little lazy, a little lackadaisical, well, then it's time to kind of look yourself in the mirror and give yourself a pep talk and say, come on, and maybe you go back and revisit the reasons why you chose to homeschool, as well as perhaps look at some of the options if you weren't homeschooling. You can, like, there was one time I remember where things were really tough for me, and I was like, but it's much better to do it this way than to have to get kids up at 6 a.m. and pack school lunches and drag them out of bed kicking and screaming. No. I will much rather take
homeschooling in pajamas.
Homeschooling in pajamas and a little bit of bad attitudes in the kids or myself, and kind of just weigh those things up. And I think the last thing that I would possibly say to a mom is to know that not every day is going to be that wonderful day, and it's really okay to say to your kids, we had a bad day today, but you know what, there's tomorrow, and tomorrow things might be better. Let's try and work toward that. And your tips? Any other ones?
Well, I think the whole thing is that if you're feeling despondent, you just need a fresh perspective, and you mustn't look at yourself as failure. It's an opportunity to change. If what you were doing wasn't working, you've got to change what you're doing to get a different result if you want a different result. Or you've got to look at what you were doing and say, maybe this is okay, And that dream I had is what needed to change, because that's a dream and an ideal. It's not a reality. So you just need to evaluate where you are in that, and then you've got a fresh outlook on your next 6 months of the year.
Absolutely. And you know, if all else fails, we always say this to moms, just put the books down for a week. Yeah, just do what needs to be done to find that even sort of flow toward the end of the year.